Okay. Um, First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone for allowing me to, present to you today. Um, thanks for, coming, even though you had to be in school anyway. But, thanks for taking the time to, be here. It means a lot to me. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Nyene Baker. I'm the founder and CEO of Visionary Philanthropy Group, Inc. We are a 501c3 nonprofit based in Trenton, New Jersey. We serve at-risk youth, returning citizens. Returning citizens are men and women, or young men and women returning home from prison or jail, and residents in the underserved communities. We have 3 program partnerships with Google, one with Microsoft, one with Girls Who Code, one with Afrotech, Princeton University. We have a sponsorship with Capital Health Foundation and a sponsorship with JP Morgan Chase Bank. And I teach 2 programs I created, Violence Prevention and Intervention and Returning Citizens Motivation 101. So let me have your attention, please. All right, so I'm about to begin into my story. But before I start, I'd just like to ask one question. Are there any nerds here in the group? Okay, so let me. You're a nerd? Okay, you sure? All right, now 1, 2. Anybody else? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nobody else? 9. Okay. When you raise your hand, you gotta raise it. You can't be shy. Are you a nerd? Yes, I'm a nerd. Okay, so I'll tell you why I asked that question. And for the ones that are not nerds, good answer. But I'll elaborate on at the end. So let me start. So I grew up out in North Trenton in a violent, drug-infested neighborhood with my 2 sisters. I went to a Catholic school called St. James. It was out in North Trenton. I went there from 1st grade to 8th grade. My parents were strict. My parents are Liberians. They were so strict. We got out of school at 2:30. They wanted us home by 2:45. If we didn't come home by 2:45, we got a butt whipping. And we got plenty of those. So my whole life turned in 5th grade. And my dad went back to Liberia. And, once he went back to Liberia, I started to get in a lot of trouble. One day, my 2 sisters were doing their homework. And I stood in front of them. And I pulled out a plastic sandwich bag filled with crushed aspirins. And I pulled out a stack of $1 bills with a $20 bill on the top. And I said, I'm going to be a drug dealer. And they started laughing. Eventually, I became that drug dealer. I played basketball. I was great at it. I used to get bullied. By 6th grade, I was already on probation. By the end of 8th grade, I seen my first murder. 9th grade, I went to McCorston Catholic High School. Not even 2 weeks. I was suspended and I was expelled. So now I'm up Trenton High. Trenton High is a fashion show. I'm happy to be there. It's a lot going on. I played freshman basketball for Trenton High, and there was a lot of temptation going on. And my mom wasn't buying me the name brand clothes, and I seen a lot of my peers, they were selling drugs, and they were the older ones were driving fancy cars, and along with my environment, a lot going on, people selling drugs, doing illegal activity, I got caught up. So I started selling drugs 9th grade. And, selling drugs, disobeying my mom, coming home at late at night. And 10th grade, my parents tricked me, and they, sent me to Liberia. I fell for the trick, but that was the biggest and the best gift I ever had in my life. I went through poverty. Our country in Liberia was going through a civil war at the time, and I went through a lot of struggle, but it was the best place I ever seen in my life. Besides the poverty and struggle, I learned a lot. I seen a lot of great, valuable resources there. So I stayed there a year, came back, still doing the same thing, selling drugs, getting into trouble. And fast forward, as I said, I used to get bullied. But at 17, I had my first shootout. That shootout, I became a gangster. I told myself, you know what? Anybody mess with me, my friends or my family, they getting dealt with. And by 21, I had my first drug charge. 22, I tried to change my life. I started working, but working wasn't working for me. So I started selling CDs and DVDs and clothes. But at first I was selling CDs. I was doing great at it. Then I moved on to, I was selling DVDs. Then I started selling clothes, and I was doing great. But trouble always comes to find me. One night, while selling my CDs, DVDs, and clothes on a notorious street in Trenton, 2 guys tried to rob me. So the guy come up to me and he said, "Give it up, Unksko." Unksko was my street name. I told him, "I'm not giving nothing up. You got to shoot me." So I called his bluff. I ended up getting away. They didn't take anything from me. Now, what I'm about to tell you, which was one of the most irrational decisions I ever made in my life, is that same night I caught one of the guys and I shot and almost killed him. This guy was a high-ranking blood member. Because of this irrational decision, there was 4 attempts on my life. Each time these guys tried to come kill me, I was shooting back, and these guys were running. So because of that irrational decision, I didn't take advantage of the employment opportunities or other positive opportunities out in the world. I resorted back to the drug game. So I started selling drugs, and I was doing well at it. And one night, partying in Philadelphia, in a section in Philadelphia called Old City, with one of my, my favorite player of all time, Allen Iverson. And I came up to Allen Iverson. I said, "Allen Iverson, how much money I need to get out the drug game?" Now, the reason why I asked Allen Iverson how much money did I need to get out the drug game, because I was desperate. I was getting so much money, I was having nightmares of the feds coming to arrest me. I was having nightmares of these killers trying to kill me. I wanted out, but there was no way out. And also, the circle I was around, Allen Iverson didn't sell drugs. Allen Iverson was a superstar, basketball player. But I was so thirsty to, meet my favorite player of all time, and I was only around negative people, criminals, thugs, gangsters. I finally met someone that was positive. I wanted the answer. I wanted a miracle to change my life, but I'm just giving you how I felt. That's why I asked him how much money I needed to get out the drug game. So he said, "You got to feel it in the air." And fast forward, I definitely felt it. But I'll tell you what I mean, I felt it. So anyway, about a year later, I moved down Atlanta, Georgia. I opened up a clothing store. The clothing store was doing well, and I had about 5 burglaries. Because of those 5 burglaries, that set me back. Once again, I didn't take advantage of the employment opportunities the world had to offer, or any positive opportunities that the world had to offer, so I resorted back to the drug game. Got the biggest connect in my life, a marijuana and a cocaine connect in Los Angeles, California. I started making the most money I ever made in my life. I was making about every 4 days, 440,000 every 4 days. Now, the reason why I'm telling you the amount of money that I was making, because I'll tell you in hindsight why I told you that. But I was making so much money. However, when you're doing wrong, it's just a matter of time. So February 24th, 2010, I was arrested by the FBI at Philadelphia International Airport for drug trafficking. About a year later, I was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. However, a week before I got sentenced, my mom came to see me, and I had to be the bearer of bad news and tell my mom I'm about to cop out to 15 years in federal prison. My mom started crying. This was the worst day of my life. And as I tell you this, it still touches me. The worst day of my life, I'm powerless. My mom is crying. I can't do nothing about it. I just got to live with it. I'm about to do 15 years. And it was terrible. Fast forward, next week, I get sentenced to 15 years. Now, this is the most powerful day of my life, because this is when my vision and dream came to me. For one, the system couldn't break me. It was the most powerful day of my life. I was excited. I was in great spirits. And that's when the vision and dream came to me. I told myself, hey, I'm going to learn how to start a nonprofit, come home and start my nonprofit, try to change as many lives as possible so that people don't have to go down the path that I went. And I said, I'm going to work on my weaknesses and flaws as well. So that's why sentencing day was the most powerful day of my life. So, you know, my prison journey wasn't perfect. I got into fights. I even got stabbed. 2013. I was in the right. But this situation, I came up with a quote. Even when you're in the right, you could be wrong. And what I mean by that is when I got stabbed, I was in the right. This guy went in my cell and he went under my mattress and looked at some of my pictures that he wasn't supposed to be looking at, right? So, you know, older guy, I was 56 at the time. I mean, he was 56 at the time. I was about 33. I didn't want to, you know, do anything to the old man, but I was furious. I was heated. So I started threatening him. I should smack you. I should do this. I should do that. Anyway, the guy stabbed me. So we was about to fight. I put up a fighting stance, but people broke it up. I couldn't get my hands on him. So to the point, because of this situation, now let me tell you what I was going through. What was going through my mind? I wanted revenge. You know, I'm used to getting revenge when someone does something to me, and I'm amongst a whole bunch of men. I felt embarrassed. My pride was in the way, you know, all this. And I couldn't get to him. But all that I was going through without me getting revenge, what did that do? I mastered self-control. The best thing I learned in prison. Master self-control. Right? And that's something that everyone should do here, if you haven't already. Master self-control. So, fast forward, you know, I'm taking college courses that I'm paying for it out of my pocket. I did that for about 4 years. It was correspondence, so it went slow. It didn't go as fast as, you know, how you would do it outside in the world. And I took over 40 programs. You know, I'm rehabilitating myself. And, you know, fast forward, for 11 years, I fought for my life. I lost in the courts. Finally, around the pandemic, my 2 appeals, I won. My last appeal, which was the compassionate release, I was granted compassionate release by my judge. And I came home October 23rd, 2020. So when I got released during the COVID pandemic, you know, it was an amazing feeling. But I want to take you back. super lawyers were telling me that I didn't stand a chance to win my case to come home. And before my friend bought this lawyer, lawyers were saying, "Oh, I won't touch his case with a 10-foot pole. Oh, his case is a waste of time." So she was discouraged, but I said, "Keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. Don't listen to them." Finally, we found a lawyer that took my case, and as I said, we won. So, I say all that to say, you can't never give up. As I said, 11 years I fought for my life and lost. Super lawyers, people that are, as I said, super lawyers, people that know their work, they're expert in this, but I had faith. I believed in myself. I said, I'm going to win, and I won. So, I just want to say never give up. But once I came home, this still was a fight, another fight. I came home. I tried to get a job at Giant Supermarket in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. I had an interview. That interview was going well until I answered the question, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And the whole interview shifted. They said, okay, we'll get back with you, this and that. They never called me. I started working at Planet Fitness for $15 an hour. And as I said, I went from before prison making $440,000 illegal money every 4 days to now making $15 an hour. This is the reason why I told you how much money I was making. I didn't tell you to be bragging, but I'm telling you of making a big point. Coming from making all that money, right, to now making $15 an hour was a very humbling point. It was a test. Are you ready, to change your life? And of course I was ready. The reason why, before I came home, I had the mentality that I'd rather die before I do anything illegal again. So that's why I told you how much money I was making to now making $15 an hour, right? And I really wasn't, it wasn't sustainable for me. So I tried to get another job at Princeton, at this gym called Lifetime Fitness in Princeton, New Jersey. I passed the interview, and it was a 3-step interview. I passed the 2 interviews. They said if you pass the second interview, you get the job. I did that. I got the job. However, I told my supervisor right away about my felonies on my record. Then once again, the whole conversation shifted. Oh, we have people with felonies, this and that, and they never called me back. I called them about 6 times, following up. They gave me the runaround, and I never got that job, all because of my felonies. So fast forward, I was working at Uber on a part-time, and I'm working for Uber for about 4 or 5 months, making decent money part-time. They knew about my felonies because I put it on the application. They knew about it. However, I got a new account, and I was able to, pick up passengers in New Jersey, which all my felonies are in New Jersey. And when you start a new account, they, do your background check again. So that came up. My felonies came up in New Jersey, and they said, "Hey, we got to have a meeting to make a decision about your felonies," which they already knew about. To the point they fired me. So now, that didn't discourage me. I ended up getting a job with a former governor named of New Jersey. Former Governor Jim McGreevey, and I was living in Philadelphia at the time. And when I got this job, there was a commute. It was a 2-hour commute, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. My first day, I went from Philadelphia to Jersey City. The whole week was the orientation at Jersey City. So former Governor McGreevey said, "You're coming away from Philly to Jersey City?" I said, "Yes." Because where I'm from, we don't get no opportunities to work for a governor or, a former governor, right? And where I'm from, there's no opportunities, that comes like this my way. There was no way I was going to, pass this opportunity. So I'm willing to go above and beyond. But this was too much strain on me. So I was doing it for about a month and a half, and I ended up resigning. So after I resigned, I went through the biggest struggle of me being home. I was unemployed for about 3 months. I came home with a 760 credit score. My credit score went down because I wasn't able to, pay my bills, pay my credit card bills and things like that. So finally, I ended up getting a job, as an engagement specialist, 100% remote job. I worked there for 6 months. It was a great job. And basically, I worked with mental health, youth. And I got laid off May 22nd, 2024. May 23rd, that's when I started working full-time for my nonprofit, which had started in 2021. So I started, working full-time for my nonprofit. And, I just started making a lot of accomplishments. I went through the struggle. I did, 3 trips to Google. The first trip to Google, I took 1 student in 2023 to Google. Second trip, with the help of Mr. Williamson, we took 55 students and 13 chaperones. Some of these students were from Capital City High School here. And that was one of my great accomplishments, taking those 55 students with the 13 chaperones to Google. Then our third trip to Google, we had 20 students with 3 chaperones. So, I made some great accomplishments. This year, I went to Silicon Valley, which is in San Francisco, California, the home of, the trillion-dollar companies, Google, Apple, Tesla, Best Buy, you name it. Right? I'm not tech savvy yet, but I went. And the reason why, I go to these big events and things like that is to, bring these, the tech partnerships that I create to bring these tech opportunities to the underserved communities here in Trenton and all throughout the country. So I say all that to say the last thing I'm gonna end, I've been through a struggle since I've came home, but I've had a great achievements. My biggest achievement was May 9th. I was one of the honorees for a prestigious award called the Russell Berry Making a Difference Award. It was over 500 nominees throughout New Jersey. I was one of the 10 honorees, and I was given $25,000 for this prestigious award for making a difference. And I was the 3rd returning citizen, which is, as I said, a man or a woman returning home from prison. I was the 3rd returning citizen to ever win this prestigious award, and I was the 1st returning citizen to ever win this prestigious award from Trenton, New Jersey. So, I was very proud of myself, and, as I said, you see my background, I come from, getting in trouble so much. My nickname should have been Trouble, right? To receiving this prestigious award. So, I just wanted to share that with you. And I want to end with the reason why I asked, were there any nerds here, in the group? Because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd with swag, right? And I have a movement. It's called N.E.R.D.S, Nerds with Swag. Right? And this vision and dream of Nerds with Swag started when I was in prison. It started when I told myself, hey, man, I'm going to go home and change, the narrative about being a nerd. I know I always been smart, but once I went down the wrong path, I used to look down on people that were nerds, that were law-abiding citizens, because I thought they were corny. And I'm in the streets selling drugs. So anybody that were doing anything illegal in the streets, I thought they were cool. I thought they was the cool people, right? Which I was wrong. And I had a whole misconception about life. And being a nerd is the best thing in the world. And this movement is basically to encourage people to be a nerd, be confident, be proud. Somebody asks you, are you a nerd? You say, yes, I'm a nerd. LeBron James a nerd. Mark Zuckerberg's a nerd, the founder of Facebook. Oprah Winfrey, Miss Arthur's a nerd. Mr. Williamson's a nerd. All these staff members here are nerds. So you have to be proud of being a nerd. That's why I asked, are there any nerds? As I said, you hear my story. I went through all this stuff, bad stuff in life. Now I'm telling you, I'm a nerd. This is what it's all about. But before I end, the last thing, the acronym for N.E.R.D. stand for never, ending, relentlessness, determines, the S is not here, but determines success. That's what the acronym stands for. So I'll say it again. Never ending relentlessness determines success. And last thing, when I told you I fought for 11 years in the courts and I lost, super lawyer said, "Oh no, we wouldn't touch his case with a 10-foot pole." I had that mentality. That's the lifestyle that I live. Basically, I never give up. And what happened? Success. I came home. I won. When all these lawyers, super successful lawyers, said, "Oh, we won't. His case is weak." So that's what this is, the motto. This is a lifestyle. If you're not already living, you should be living it. You should be living this lifestyle, and you should have that mentality. Never-ending relentlessness determines success. If you fail a test, go back, figure out where you went wrong at, and study and try to pass that test. Whatever it is, if you fail something, go back and try harder. All right. So I'm gonna end with that.
Resilience, that's what it's called. So, like, just keep going. If you fell, get back up and do it again. Basically, yeah. And there's success on the other side of resilience. And
Thank you.
Beauties and brains too.
Absolutely.
Cute, look good, full class.
Absolutely. Anybody have any questions? You had something in the beginning. I didn't forget about you.
No, I don't got the question.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Oh no, they're still living. My sister that's 2 years older than me. She lives in Trenton. She does cooking on her off days. She does well with that, and then she drives for New Jersey Transit. And my older sister, she's actually she has her own company. It's a home care company, and then she's also a secretary. She's on my nonprofit board. Actually, too, she started with me. It was just me and her. She believed in me, and I'm glad you asked that. She believed in me. No one else, believed in me. And she started my nonprofit with just me and her. It was just me and her. So now we have a dream team now. I got, one of my Google partners who's on my nonprofit board. He's and he asked me to be on my board. So as I say that to say, me, I come from getting in so much trouble to having somebody, for example, of course, my sister who started with me, but having someone that, works at Google and also has his own, tech company as well, that's at Google, on my nonprofit board. So as you see, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, but it's all about dreams come true, so y'all keep dreaming. Anything you can achieve, you just put your mind to it. But great questions. Anybody else? Anybody have any business questions?
Wait, if you don't make profit off of this, then how do you make profit?
So okay, that's a great question. So let me explain. So nonprofit, don't get nonprofit. Of course, that means no profit. But nonprofit doesn't mean that. So now I have to tell you about the back end of nonprofit. Nonprofits provide services. So we provide services. Nonprofits provide services, and that's how they make money. Because in order to make money, you have to provide services to pay for operations and daily things with your nonprofit. So that's how most nonprofits do. They provide services for a fee. So that's how they make a living, and those people that work for the nonprofit get paid for whatever comes with putting those services and other things together. But great question, because most people would think.
What was the question?
If you work for a nonprofit, how do you make a nonprofit if it's a nonprofit?
Well, look, I just want to jump in here. Comes from non-profit. So, have you ever heard of Girl Scouts?
Yes.
Right? Have you ever heard of Girl Scouts and Girl Scout cookies? Girl Scouts is a nonprofit. But Girl Scouts also own buildings in Manhattan. So nonprofit make their money is called. They make their money off of was it executive fees. So say you have a nonprofit because you start a business. Everybody start a business to make money. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
To be able to support yourself. So nonprofits get a lot of money from donations, from supporters, big companies, and so forth. But in order for the nonprofit to work, the people that work the nonprofit has to get paid, right? So that's how nonprofit people that work the nonprofit get paid. A lot of money comes from donations, supports, billionaires. Like you got to connect with Google, and you have these companies. They see that you're doing something for people because, like he said, it's a service. And if you're serving people, people need. They look for people to help service because there are a lot of people, a lot of companies out here who have money that want to support helping people. But I'm gonna say this: everything starts with an idea. So he came up with an idea, which is a good idea because his idea, once again, is to help youth, is to help people. So when you think of nonprofit, don't think that nonprofits don't make money. Girl Scouts own a building on 5th Avenue. They own the whole building on 5th Avenue in New York City.
Prime real estate. That's probably one of the most expensive areas in New York City.
Can you explain more about your nonprofit business?
Oh, okay. So we have 3 program partnerships with Google. So the first program that I'll tell you about is the Grow with Google Career Certificate Scholarship Program. It's 7 different career paths that leads to employment. It's a 6-month online course. The 7 different career paths is UX design, IT support, data analytics, cybersecurity, AI, digital marketing and e-commerce, and project management. Each 6 of these courses are equivalent up to 12 college credits, and accept AI. AI is the shortest. You can finish AI, I think, in 4 hours, probably in 1 day. But you still get a certificate from Google and through Coursera. All the courses are through Coursera. It starts from ages 13 to any age of adult. Once the participant completes the certificate, Google gives them access to a consortium of over 150 Fortune 500 companies, and they help them find a job, and they have a 75% success rate with that. So we'll be doing our second in-person program next month. So if anyone is interested, you can talk to me afterwards or talk to Miss Arthur. Also, we have the Google Breakbeat Code program. That's a coding program that teaches youth and adults how to make beats by coding. And it's all genre of music. You listen to any genre of beats, and then you make a beat by coding. And this is a very popular program. Anyone into beat making music, things like that, you definitely will want to participate in this program. We also have the Grow with Google Justice Impacted program. They have beginners tech programs, intermediate, advanced tech programs that you can learn tech skills, coding, AI, bunch of other tech skills you can learn. We also have the work readiness programs in there. You can learn how to prepare yourself for job interviews, how to create resumes, how to create a business plan, how to start a business, things like that with the Grow with Google Justice Impacted program. Then we also have our Girls Who Code Club for all girls grades 3 to 12. Teaches you how to code, teaches you how to create apps, how to build websites, and learn a lot of tech skills as well. Then we have the Also, violence prevention and intervention program. We have that. As I mentioned in my story, I had to master self-control, which is one of the best skills you can have in life, because I give you a prime example. You can be on top of the world, right? And you get into an argument, and that argument turns into a fight, and then God forbid, you kill somebody. Then now you're incarcerated, and you was just on top of the world because you didn't master self-control. Now you in a load of trouble, right?
For her, I was in there for a year. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm like,
Yeah, so mastering self-control is a very high value skill that you want to learn, because we all going to be tested in life, with having self-control. So so you definitely have to master self-control. Everybody, you can learn all the things you need to learn in life and gain a lot of skills, but you have to have self-control. So that's another program that we offer. So
You still taking students? Still doing a trip to Google?
right now, my Google partner, he got laid off, so we're trying to figure out some other ways that we can get the trip still going. So we Paul got it on pause for right now.
I have a question. What's one thing that you know now that you wish you would have known when you were like 16 or 17? Especially like on how you select your friends.
Great question. I'm glad you brought that up. People, places, and things. Thanks, Ms. Arthur, for bringing that up. People, places, and things. This is another very important thing. I'm an expert at this. People, places, and things. This is how I'm able to be successful and succeed in life, because people, places, and things. How I'm able to be successful from my past. One, I changed my people that I be around. Anybody that was in the past doing anything illegal with me, I don't hang around with anybody that do anything illegal. That's non-negotiable, right? So we got that out the way. Places, I'm only going around positive places. I'm from the Boulevard out North Trenton. You'll never see me go around there hanging on the corner, this and that. If I go around there, I'm coming around to do some positive things. For example, we did a turkey drive last Saturday. That's where you'll see me doing something positive. But other than that, I'm not coming to hang around. There's no reason for me to be around there, right? Unless, I might visit somebody, a family or something like that, but I'm not going around there to hang around. So that's just an example. Places, things. I read a lot, I study. Actually, let me tell you about that. I won a scholarship for college, and this is my biggest dream. The college that I'm in is called the American College of Financial Services, and I'm studying to be a chartered advisor in philanthropy. My nonprofit name is Visionary Philanthropy Group, Inc. So this was the last biggest part of my nonprofit and philanthropy dream, to become a chartered advisor in philanthropy. It's only a year. I started in April, but I got a scholarship. I won that scholarship because of explaining my story and things like that. So I won that scholarship. I'm in the college. I just took my first exam for the first course last Thursday. I passed with an 87. Thank you. It was a fight. It wasn't nothing easy. So it wasn't nothing easy. So this goes back to things. I don't drink or smoke. The only drug I ever used was marijuana. It's going on 16 years since the last time I smoked or drank alcohol. So things, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I don't go out. I might go to a restaurant or things like that. And those are things that I do. I do positive things. That exam had 100 questions. I came into that exam losing. Why? Because, and this is, you have to learn this, and y'all make sure y'all don't be like me. I came into that exam losing. I didn't get no sleep. I mean, enough sleep that night. I stayed up late, you know? Even though I was well prepared, I studied, but as I'm taking the exam, I'm nodding off, you know, I'm falling asleep, got to catch myself. So not only am I fighting, you know, myself and trying to, you know, stay up, but I'm also, you know, the test is 100 questions, but I was prepared, right? So those are a part of things. I studied, I was well prepared, and I got an 87. But I learned next time I'm not going to go in there not being rested.
Sports bus has
So
now arrived. Sports bus has now arrived.
so that's part of things. You have to change the things that you do. Don't get me wrong. I'll be on social media, you know, to promote and advertise and things like that. But I'm not constantly on there. I'm not on social media when I know I should be studying. Right? Because if I wasn't prepared, I would have failed that exam. And it was tricky. It was hard. So you have to be prepared. You know, so that's an example of things, people, places, and things. To end what Miss Arthur asked, what did I learn differently? People, places, and things. Everything got to be different, and everything got to be, you know, set for success. People, places, and things. All right?
One more question for you. We do a lot of reading in my class.
Mhm.
We're looking for another book to start. We just finished. What book did we just finish? After the Storm.
So,
What would you recommend we read?
so,
Give us 3 books.
all right. One of my top books is Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun by Reginald Lewis. This book is about an African American man, the first African American man to have a $1 billion company. Story's powerful. So that's one. 2. Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Alchemist. And I'll leave one more. It's so many, but I'll leave one more. You can learn a lot from this book, the autobiography of Steve Jobs.
If you guys can tell me what N.E.R.D. stands for, I'll give you classroom money.
How much?
I'll give you $50 in classroom money.
You gonna write it down?
Never ending resilience.
Success.
No.
Never ending.
Oh, man.
That's
Oh, I can keep my money.
Wait. Say it again.
What dear got it?
Determine success.
No. Close.
Never ever relentlessness determine success.
So what is it?
One more time.
Never ever relentlessness determines.
No.
Close.
I want him to say it again. Say it one more time. You sure you didn't hear right?
What dear? What
Yeah.
dear? Say it one more time.
Never ending resilience determines success.
It's close.
Never ending relentlessness determines success.
There you go. Relentlessness. Yeah, he said it.
The word. You just didn't finish the word. The whole word.
Yeah, he said resilience. Now, you know, he was close too. You just said never ending, but it's no, he said never. You said ever. He said ever. Yeah, never ever, but never ending.
So before he closes out, I just want to say something to you all, and because I want you to expound on something. So, one thing I'm going to tell you: no matter how old you get, we are always learning. Like I learned something today just listening to Mr. Baker, because he said he's taking a course for philanthropy. And I know many of you probably don't even know what that means. But for me to stand here and listen to him say he's taking a course on philanthropy, I'm going to let him explain to you what philanthropy is, because that's something that we don't even think about. We're always on the receiving end, but we never really think about. And we know people, when you get older, you'll know those people who are philanthropists. And a lot of people always have their hands out looking for philanthropists. So can you just explain what philanthropy means?
So philanthropy means basically, giving, right? Giving to others, whether it's monetary, time, resources. It's all about giving. But it's not. Most people think philanthropists are people that donate money. That's part of it. But you could be a philanthropist by just donating your time, right? Because you can change lives. A person can come with a powerful story and just change lives by just talking, to people, and one by one, you're changing lives. That's a philanthropist, because you're giving. You're whatever it is, you're giving. So you can, be a philanthropist by, basically giving resources. It don't have to be money, but you can say, like, for example, I met someone at Silicon Valley, right? A woman, a South African woman. She has her own startup, nonprofit, startup tech company. And we became partners, and she asked me to do a referral for her to go to get a Harvard scholarship. So I'm like, to the point she had a tech program. She was invited by the Queen of England to England because her tech program was so powerful, right? So I'm like, why she asked me? So anyway, she asked me and another tech person. She ended up getting that scholarship to Harvard, just me and that person. So I was so happy, right? That's an example of giving, a referral. A referral is valuable. A referral is very valuable. So that's just an example of, of giving, helping out. So philanthropists, you don't have to, just donate money. You can give with your time. You can give, resources. You can, give with anything that can help someone.
Services.
All right. So to elaborate on that, when I become a chartered advisor in philanthropy, I'll be able to advise rich and wealthy people on estate planning, legacy planning, heirs planning, financial planning. So, that's why I said this is my biggest dream. So, so that's all about, being a philanthropist or philanthropy. So let's say people that do turkey drives and things like that, help out. Those are philanthropists. Don't think, oh, you got to be like Oprah Winfrey, giving back and giving cars away. No, you can be someone, a student, and you helping out, helping a nonprofit out, passing out turkeys, and you're a philanthropist. So that's an example. Yes.
So, can you share something about making choices, especially at this young age,
Mm-hmm.
to our students? What it can be anything, either being in the classroom, or trying to study, trying to take honors classes, set up a path in the life.
So, great question. So whatever this can help you, right? In life, your choices and your minds might change, but some things that can help you, whatever you're passionate about, follow through with that, right? I never knew at 16 years old I would be, what I am now, right? But I always, whatever skill set you have, follow through with that. I always wanted to be a businessman, though, right? Even though I went down the wrong path to be a drug dealer, but I had it in me. I just didn't know what it was. So I say all that to say, whatever you're passionate about, I was passionate about being a businessman. So whatever you're passionate about, follow through with that, because, there's a high chance that's your calling. So when it comes to choices, try to do whatever you're interested in, because whatever you're interested in and your heart loves, there's a high chance you could be successful in that, right? Because if you do something just for the money, I'm not saying that, you know, it won't work or whatever. You might, you know, like, for example, I used to work at Amazon. I dreaded going to Amazon warehouse. I dreaded going there every day. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be there. I had to do it, and that's what what my hand was called for at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say, just for example, let's say, let's just say someone is a tech. Let's say you tech is paying 200,000, right? You making 200,000. You like, yo, I'm gonna apply for that job to get that 200,000. But you don't really like tech, but you skilled in it though, right? But you don't really like it. So when you go to work, you don't really, you know, like the environment and stuff like that. You don't like what you're doing, but you in it for the money. You know what I mean? But let's say, you know, you're a boxer, right? And you love boxing. And that's your thing. You want, man, listen, I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to go, you know what I mean, do boxing or whatever, to go to be at my boxing job or whatever the case may be. I love it. You know what I mean? And the money's short or whatever, but I'm just giving an example. So to the point, just try to stick with something you love and look more to, you know, something that you know, you can go every day and be happy about. Because there's so many people that have jobs that not happy with the job they're at. So when you make choices, look at something that, you know, you'll be happy with. It'll keep, you know, keep you there, keep you motivated and less stress.
I'm just joking. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself today.
Let's give it up for Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Camera off, claws up, bye.